Am I live? Hey, sorry. Hey, Facebook. Cindy Ames here, friends and family. How are you? Can you guys see me okay? The lighting is bad in here, and I'm still trying to get over my whole face issue with these rashes and stuff. If you're on, see, I was already talking about it. Hello. I'm so sorry. I'm having one of those nights. It's not even a full moon. Anyways, hello. If you're watching me for the first time, I'm Cindy Ames. I'm a big empty nester, 4 grown kids that are in college, 3 are in college, and I'm a single parent, and I am coming to you live, and I have some things I want to share with you. For those of you who have seen me before, say hello. If you're watching this live, let me know where you're watching from, and if you are new, if you've never seen me before, oh, God bless you. Let me know. This is the first time you've watched me, and let me know if you're watching from the replay, because I want to be able to shout out to y'all. Hello, Adam. Hey, Gino. How you doing? Dave, George, how you doing? I have this topic I'm going to talk about tonight, and I'm not sure if it'll make you crazy or not, but I watched this. I don't know if you guys know this Nicole Arbour. Thank you for the heart. Oh, by the way, thank you for the hearts and the love and the thumbs up. And if you find any value in this, please share. Please, please, please. Because my message is, I try to share, inspire, like uplift you, but it's also like, I got some stuff I want to share. And, cause sometimes getting off my dirty list stuff. But anyways, hey everybody, how you doing? Oh my God, I love it. I love you're all on. I'm so happy. Anyways, this Nicole Arbour, has anybody heard of her? Like, let me know if you've heard of her in the comments. She is this Canadian, beautiful biatch, like comedian. Like, she's gorgeous. And she, I don't even know how I found her today. I swear to God, I don't. I was watching something. I don't even know how I stumbled across her, but somebody like posted one of her videos, and she's like this crazy Canadian comedian, and she posted this one video, I guess one time, about how, like, dear fat people, and it caused so much controversy, right? It was just crazy. But I watched her today. I was like, oh my God. Well, one of her videos was talking about like cheating, just how you handle it, what you do. And so it's just a subject that pretty much touches all of our hearts, because we at least know somebody that's cheated on somebody or has been involved in a relationship, or you were the cheater. It doesn't matter whether you're a guy or girl, but I want to have this conversation with you, and I want you to share with me, because it just sparked an interest in me, because I've been married for 20 some years. And I like to say that my marriage ended because my husband cheated on me. And truth be told, and this is the truth, and take it for whatever it's worth. And I'm only mentioning this because I've grown up a lot in the last couple years. Thank you for the hearts. I love you all. And hey, Karen, how you doing? Yes, please comment. I am going to read these as soon as I can. Vicky, how you doing? Anyways, I was married for 20 some years. I'm not going to get into my personal life completely, but I just want to say, like, one thing is, my husband and I used to talk. We were very close buddies, early on. And I had said to him, I never wanted anybody to, like, if they weren't in love with me or didn't love me anymore, I didn't want them to be with me. So I wanted them to tell me, right? I was asking for the damn truth way back when. And I know I was the type of girl in high school and growing up that, if I felt there was even like rifts in the water, I broke it off. I was like, break it off. If I even sensed the slightest amount of like, oh, someone doesn't like me anymore, I'm going to break it off. I was the one that broke up with everybody. Nobody broke up with me. I beat them to the punchline, because nobody was going to freaking do that to me, right? The hurt was still there, but I avoided even more hurt. Well, in my situation, 4 kids later, whatever, my husband had, I believe, this is going to sound crazy, but had enough love for me to tell me, like, he wasn't in love with me anymore. Our marriage had gone in the toilet, like, the last 8 years of our marriage, and it did. And I would have never left, because I believe in that commitment, that whole soul thing, even though we were both unhappy. Hey, Charlene, how you doing? Hey, Tom, how you doing? So this is just a prelude to what I want to talk about. But anyways, I had said something to him, and we talked when we were deep, and he, our marriage fell apart. It really did. And it just fell apart for whatever reasons. We were both to blame. I was to blame. It had nothing to do with another woman. But, he told me he didn't love me anymore. And that was like a big sting, slap in the face. Whoa, the worst thing you could ever say to anybody. But I also said it when I was younger, like, I don't want anybody to be with me if they don't love me. I used to cut off relationships way before it got to that point, because I was never going to experience that hurt. Do you guys know what I'm talking about, guys and girls? You know what I'm talking about? You cut it off before you even get to that point, because that's painful. We all want to be loved and accepted, and it sucks to but I learned, I'm jumping here, but I learned back in 5th grade, and a friend of mine, Danielle Nicole, inspired me to talk about this tonight. I remember Cindy Runka, we were a bunch of Cindys when we were younger. And we got in this discussion. She's like, not everybody's going to like you. Like, people just don't like you sometimes. And you don't like people, and it's okay. And I was like, ouch. But yeah, that's true. There's some people I don't really like. And yeah, people aren't gonna like me, and it's okay. As long as we can all coexist in this world, we're not gonna all like each other, right? So then it comes to love, which is like magnified 10 times worse. You're in a loving relationship, and all of a sudden, like, it's not just the spark, right? I'm not talking about the spark. Hey, Tara, I know you can relate to what I'm talking about, Tara, and thank God I'm not gonna talk about you tonight, but turned it all back around and made it work the second time. I know you know what I'm talking about, Tara. But anyways, you get to a point where it just doesn't fit anymore. And we make these laws like marriage and like these official laws, and all of a sudden it's like this ceremony that's supposed to mean something so much more. But again, your heart and your soul, when like a bond or a thing just doesn't work anymore. And, just touching on that. So basically, my husband, we had it, he told me, and I was like, no, I didn't want to believe it. Well, then he ended up finding somebody else. It doesn't matter when he found her. It doesn't even matter. 2 years ago, I'd never be able to have this conversation, but now I am. Thank you for the hearts, because it truly was, we grew apart. He didn't love me. It was a hard, he didn't love me, and I don't blame him, but like, he wasn't in love with me anymore, and he had to do what was right for his soul. As much as that hurt, he was honest about it. I mean, I hate to say this, like, this is like a couple years later after, like, I blamed everything on him cheating on me. That was it. Okay. But my point, and why I want to talk about this tonight, is because when we were close with our neighbors, and I won't mention them because they're not on Facebook. Charlene, thank you. But my husband and I and my neighbors, we were best friends. We did everything together. Everything together. We did. Our kids were raised in 2 houses, right? It was. I won't start crying. I'm going to be tough about this tonight because it was a wonderful experience. But we had this conversation one time because, my neighbor would do things and just like kind of flirty, funny things. And I used to get jealous. Like, oh, what are you hitting on my husband? You know what I mean? Like, there was just like that, I don't even know how to explain it. My neighbor's gorgeous and beautiful and I love her. But like, I felt a little intimidated sometimes. If she would just even like do the slightest thing with my husband, I felt like intimidated, and vice versa. I went both ways, right? Like, if I was talking to her husband out by the garbage cans, she would get, I'll say his name. I'll say, come to the house. Come on, let's go. So we all had this discussion one night, right? We sat around a fire. We talked about this, and it was like, well, we made a pact. It's going to sound silly, right? The tomato, big fat tomato, was sitting from my garden, sitting on our table. We were out back on my patio, and we were talking about like, well, it's okay. So what if you found out like my neighbors, right? My best friend, her husband, my neighbors, right, was cheating, and you knew it, you caught him or her. What would you do? Like, what would you do? Best friends, you love these people. This is one example. I'll give you more. You found out that they were cheating. One was cheating on the other. What would you do? So we had this discussion, right? And it sounds silly because we were all having drinks, having a good time, carrying on. But there was this tomato sitting there, and we made this silly pact, right? Oh, Rhonda, how you doing? Made this silly pact. We all kind of stuck our finger in the tomato, made this tomato pact. I know I talk really fast. So if you can't understand me, replay it really, really slow, or tell me to slow down. I will try my best. But to this tomato pact that we would promise each other. This is what the promise we made. We would tell each other, if I found out my best friend's husband was cheating on her, I would go to him and say, I know what you're doing. You have a chance to like go confess, or whatever your situation is, whatever it is whatever's going to happen. But I'm giving you a chance to go make that right. Go communicate and be honest, no matter what the consequences are. Explain to me whatever. But if you don't, we made a pact that we were going to tell. Now, that was just us. That was the 4 of us, right? That was 4 really, really dear friends. We did everything together. We made this pact that we'd give each other so much time, but then we all cried about it. It was crazy. We were crying talking about this. But we would tell, like, after so much time. We would give them an opportunity to confess themselves. If you caught, like, someone near and dear to you. So people, like, what would you do? What would you do? If you found out someone was cheating, right? Being unfaithful, and they were in a marriage, it doesn't even have to be a marriage. They were in a committed relationship, and you saw them doing something, and like, what would you do? I want to know. What would you do? Bring it on. I want the comments, because I want to have a dialogue here, because, I don't know what I would do if it was like, I made a pact with my neighbors. This is like a situation that we did, but like, really, like, what you do in a situation like that? And like, as far as like drawing the line of like commitment and non-commitment, and why do people cheat in the first place? Like, I wish that, this is so painful for me to even say, but I wish that like people were more like my husband, at the point where like, if it's over, and like, you're honest, instead of like, why do people cheat? Why do they cheat? Why do you have to like cheat and be like, and hide. If you like, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that to the person that you love? If you're still in love with that person or you're in a marriage, why do you have to like do the thing on the side and then if you're caught, you're so apologetic, you're terrified, you don't want, so what does that mean? Like, I want to know what that means to you. Charlene, not my business. Most people know anyways. You're right. Most people do know. You're right. Most people do know. Right. So you're basically, are you saying like, yeah, it's not your place to tell? Like, I mean, if it was a complete stranger, I mean, I don't even know. Like, I'm talking about a friend. I'm talking about somebody that you know you have a relationship with. I would tell them everything else comes out, then you feel betrayed from everyone. That's true. That is true. Right. So if you found out after the fact that you knew like your best friend knew, guys, girls, doesn't matter. We're talking, this is like a sexless thing here. Just because I'm a woman talking about it, just so you understand. Like, what would you do? Like, you know, what would you do? Like, do you feel like, oh my God, torn in your heart? Like, do I tell? Do I not tell? It's not my business. And then they found out you didn't say anything and you had lunch with them every day. But like, honestly, what are your thoughts? I'm trying to read here. Is watching me, let's see, because some people want their cake and eat it too. Yes, some people do. Absolutely. Some people want to have their cake and eat it too. Yes. And they're terrified of being caught, right? Man or woman, they're terrified of being caught, but they're willing to take that risk for what? Like, where do you draw the line? Like, what do you do? Like, I told you about my little pact with my neighbors, but they were like two of my best friends. So we made this for each other. It was like, whoa, no, we're going to, if, you know, God forbid something like this happens, we're going to give you a shot to like make it right. Be honest about it. It's hard for someone to tell you they don't love you anymore. That's a hard thing to swallow. Trust me, it is. It is. It's a very hard thing. But people fall in love. People in this world, we coexist, and some people just don't like each other. They don't like each other. They clash for whatever reason. They can be like social, but they just don't like each other. And it's very hurtful when you're on the receiving end, but like, that's just the way like it is in this. We all coexist, but like, there are people that just don't like you. They're not ever going to like you. And there's people you don't like that you're just never going to like. You just, for whatever reason, your energies aren't the same and you don't mesh. And that's okay when you're not hurting each other. But when you're in like a relationship, a committed relationship, and you stray, and I'm not talking about the strayer or the strayee. I'm talking about the friends that are surrounding you that find out. What do you do about it? What do you do about it? Hey, Jamila, how you doing? Kareem, oh my God. Yeah, hey Frank, how you doing? I'm just curious. Like this Nicole Arbor started up this whole thing about cheating and telling, and it just sparked something in me, and I thought I want to share that with my Facebook friends and family. Like, I want to talk to you about it. Sadly, when you tell all of your BF about a love for her, at the time these women kiss and make up, and they're mean, and they turn on their friend. Yeah, that happens too. You're absolutely right. Yeah, that sucks. Yep, that happens too. So, bottom line, I was like, is there a right ethical thing to do? Is there a right thing or a wrong thing to do? Like, if you let it go, you ignore it. You know, what do you think is the right thing to do? I've only experienced it, the conversation with close friends, and it never happened. Thank God. I mean, well, it never happened. In my own life, my own personal life, with my situation being married for 20 some years, our last 8 years of our marriage, it wasn't pleasant. And I'm not trying to stir up anything, because I love my ex-husband. I love him to death. He's a great man. But there was both of us. Stuff's to happen. And I would have never left, because I believed in that whole, like, oh, Catholic marriage, like, oh my God, which was stupid. I start anything there too, because at the end, I don't think God's judging all of us. Like, I don't know. I don't even want to get into that subject, but I think he did like the honorable thing by being honest, as much as it hurt. And I wanted to blame everything else. That's like a really hard thing to swallow. Like that someone they're not in love with you anymore. That's a hard thing to swallow. And I've gotten past it. So I'm really proud of myself to say I've gotten past it. But like, what about all of the rest of us? Like, what about the rest of you? And, you know, why can't we be honest? Like, why can't you be honest? Like, why do you have to cheat? Yeah, once you're kicking EAT is one thing. You want to fool around and be whatever. Why can't you just be honest? Like, if you aren't happy with somebody, but you're in love with someone else, why can't you be honest and just do the right thing? And what is the right thing? So I want to know. What should I say? I'm watching your comments. I'm reading them. I can't. Everybody's saying bring her on camera, because like 2 days ago I thought, what is that? But it's a new Facebook feature that says like bring them on camera. So if anybody wants to be on camera, I can bring you on camera. Like right now, I can have a couple people on with me. Where's my friends? Where's Sherry and everybody else? Like, you know, if you want to hop on, I'll put you on. Heidi, how are you doing? Third. I said, best friend, her husband is cheating, and let the guy suffer consequences. He should. Oh, and hold on. Third, or T-Bird Hanley, if you don't mind me using this, can I say this? Hi, sexy. Well, thank you. I say, tell your best friend that her husband is cheating and let the guy suffer the consequences. He should have put his wife first to start. In health and sickness, do death do us part. You're right. You're right. We make these oaths. You're right. We make these commitments. Absolutely. Absolutely, T-Bird. Yeah. But Charlene, you never know how people will react. I would not want to be responsible. Best friends or not, they know they need to be honest with themselves and not make someone else feel obligated to tell. Charlene, Char, I love my new Char, my girl, she's going to be famous. Char, I don't understand what that means. You never know. I'm not sure I understand what that means. Not tell, responsible, they should know. Can you elaborate on that, Charlene, if you don't mind? Hey, Joe, how you doing? Oh my God, hey, Jeff, how you doing? No, I'm really curious. Like, okay, I totally agree with you. I appreciate and respect honesty, but unfortunately there are so many liars. You're right. There are so many liars and cheaters out there. Right. So at what point do the outsiders, like us, the outsiders, at what point do we take on the responsibility or the guilt or the shame or the just play the game? What point do we take on that responsibility of sharing with other person? Like if that person, the guy, the girl that's cheating, it goes both ways. Trust me, it goes both ways. The guy or the girl's a cheater and the friend or the outsider knows. And I'm asking you, like to me, I made a promise to my friends. Well, I would go to that person and say, look, I know what you're doing. You better let this person know or I'm going to tell them. How do you feel about that? Like, how do you feel about approaching the cheater and saying, like, look, I know what you're doing. You need to be honest. It's not right. Or whatever your judgment is. Do you think that's right or wrong? Do you think that we made this pact and we were right or wrong? Like, do we think that's to give someone a chance to come clean? Or I'm not talking about like a one night indiscretion, you're drunk and you do something stupid. That's also wrong. But I'm talking about like an ongoing affair with another woman or man, right? An ongoing affair. You meet somebody else, you're in a committed relationship and you meet this man or woman and you are carrying on behind the back. Like you're leading a double life, right? And so one of your friends, maybe it's a mentor even, let's build up to that. Maybe it's a mentor that finds out and they call you out on it. Like, who's the right one? What should you do? Like, what would you do? I'm so glad I never had to deal with that. I'm so glad, grateful I didn't have to deal with that. And they didn't have to deal with it with me because my husband and I worked it out ourselves. They never had to deal with that, right? I would tell them, Ron, you tell them, okay, Joe, why, oh my God? Joe, why are you saying, oh my God? What the hell? Why are you saying, oh my God? Clarify that, please, my dear friend. It's tough. Relationships are tough. But at the end of the day, I mean, I learned like from my mentor, like, when something happens, it's not you. It's like the other person. You have to realize like, it's not you. It's them. If they cheat on you, it's not you. It's not about you. It's them. And that's a really hard thing to swallow. That it's not me. That's their person's. That's that guy or that woman's issue. And this is okay. So what do I learn from this? Like, what does that mean to me? That's crazy thinking. I know, but thank you. You're so sweet. Thank you for the compliments. I appreciate it. Thank you for the hearts. If you find any value, please share. Please. But seriously, it's so tough. It's so our egos get in the way of everything. Our egos get in the way of everything. Our head gets in the way of everything. Hold on, Jackie. I would tell, if it were me, I would want to know. If I saw it myself, I would tell my friend, you should be able to be tactful and loving. We'll get back here. If they truly are your best friend, you should already have known. You're right. You're absolutely right. Jackie, that was a great comment. Absolutely right. It is hard. Like people, trust me, people know in their heart. They do know. Thank you for the hearts. They do know. They just don't want to face it. Nobody wants to face that reality. Nobody wants to face that rejection. Nobody wants to face like, oh, my life might go in a different direction. But hold on, let me see. Hold on. Liv is watching with me, and her opinion is that it's not anyone's responsibility because it's not her problem, their problem. Even though you feel bad, she said it could backfire on you. She said there's no right or wrong. Liv, get on here. Get on Facebook Live. No, I agree. It can backfire. It can totally backfire. But at the end of the day, like morally, I guess, maybe I'm talking about ethics here. Morally, like what do you do? Like, can you live with yourself? Like, like you saw someone you love and care about. Okay, let's take it deeper. How about that? Let's take it really deep. What if it's your own kid? What if you're a grown adult and it's your own kid, right? Your own son or daughter. And you find out that their significant other is cheating on them with someone else. And it's ongoing. What would you do? I know I'm bringing it on tonight. I know I'm crazy. I'm not just going to crazy. The full moon's going to be coming soon. I'm crazy tonight. Like, what would you do? Seriously. I want some responses here because I'm telling you what, if it was one of my kids, I don't know what I would do. I would hope that I would be a responsible adult, but I can't promise anything. I don't know what I would do. Like, seriously. But what if it was? What if it was somebody that you really, really care about? Okay? We'll take it deeper. Someone you really, it doesn't have to be your own kid, someone you really, really care about, and you found out that their loved one, male or female, doesn't matter, was doing something and screwing them over, basically. Yeah, being intimate with somebody else and that kind of thing. And ongoing, not just a one-time fling. Like, what would you do? It's so hard. Like, what would you do? First of all, my heart would be so broken, still would not tell. Really, Charlene, no matter what, you wouldn't tell. Thank you, Joe. Charlene, you seriously would never say a word. So what would you do? Charlene, I want to know what you would do. This is one of my sisters from our morning circle, so I can be like that with her. Hope you're not offended. I love you, Charlene. But seriously, Rick, our kids are flesh and blood, totally different than a friendship. You're right. Well, I'll put it all out there tonight. I want to know how you feel. I do. Because this woman drove me crazy today, this Nicole Arbor. She had started up all this viral stuff. I was like, wow, one woman can do all that. And I'm just like, oh, I'm just curious as to what my Facebook friends think. Seriously. Our kids are, yeah, you're right. The flesh and blood thing's a different story. But okay, well then we can go back to the friendship thing. Okay, let me ask you this then. How would you feel if it were you? It happened to you, and you knew your best friend and Jane Doe down the street and Joe John across the street. They all knew but you. And they didn't tell you. They didn't say anything. I'm just asking, how would you feel? Would you be grateful that they didn't tell you? Would you be mad that they didn't tell you? Would you be mad at yourself that you didn't figure it out yourself? Like, how would you feel? Hey, Diane, how you doing, girl? Joe, why don't you... Oh, God. Thanks, Karen. You're so funny. But seriously, what would you do? This is a tough subject. It's really a tough subject. And, really, at the end of the day, it's really hard when you have to, stop and say, okay, well, how does this affect me? What do I take from this? How do I look myself in the mirror and, figure out what this has to do with me and how to make myself a better person across the board? Because the cheating has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with you. The cheating on the person has nothing to do with you. You witnessed something, I'm reading the comments here. Hold on. I would be so mad if everyone around me knew and didn't. Right. So, right. I would feel the same way. Joe, and that Jackie, I'm sorry. In a way, I made that story up in my head that happened to me, but it really didn't because in my situation, I was already told that the kind of the relationship was over. So that when I was around all these people, they knew. And so I felt like this big, but in reality, I knew beforehand. So it just magnified it. Does that make sense? It magnified it. But yeah, being the last one to know is the most humiliating feeling in the world. I'm sure. Absolutely. And, the sense of betrayal, the sense of whatever, but then we go back to okay, our gut and love. Do you know, have you guys and gals, have you known, then you're with someone you love and you knew in your heart that they were cheating on you? They were unfaithful to you? How many people, what do you have to say about that? Did you know and just denied it? Right? Did you deny it? I'm just curious because this has stirred up so much crap about relationships. And I'm going to Sedona next week in Arizona hey, Janice, oh my God, I love you. How are you doing? I'm supposed to be going to Sedona this week to go on a retreat, a meditation about relationships and all this. And to try to help bring some peace to our own souls and whatnot. Let me see, Rick. It did happen to me. Oh God. And many of my, so I'm sorry, Rick, my dog's barking. It did happen to me and many of my now ex-friends are no longer part of my circle, but they didn't want to be involved and respect their choice to remain silent. Okay. Yeah. So some people will remain silent. Obviously people are going to remain silent, right? And some people are going to speak up and they're going to be hated for speaking up. They're going to be in the target, the enemy. And I just wanted to bring it up and for all of you, what would you do? It's just something to think about. It's something to think about. What would you do? And the other thing is if somebody you loved, you were married to in a committed relationship and, they told you they weren't in love with you anymore. I specifically told my husband, I don't ever want anybody to be with me if they don't love me. I don't ever want, you never cheat. There's no reason to ever cheat because I don't want you to be with me if you don't love me anymore. And he was honest. That in our situation, he actually did me a huge favor. So other people don't. They do whatever they do. How do you handle it? How do you handle it when it's you? How do you handle it when it's a friend? Charlene, I just don't believe that everybody know, and you don't. I would not want anybody to get involved in my relationship. I know, and I totally agree with you there, Charlene. I totally agree with you. I do agree with you with that. But what if they already are? They already are. They already know. So what would you do? Catch them on camera, Joe. Okay, but you catch them on camera, but okay, so then they try to deny it, right? Or you catch them on camera, and then what do you do? Like, then they try to squirm and say, he or she tries to squirm and say whatever. Like, it's just it's sad. It's a part of our lives. It's sad. It's sad that people can't be committed and whatever. It's sad that people can't be honest then when they don't feel that love or whatever anymore. That they are not willing. Here's my thing. They're not willing to accept that and be okay with being alone. Right? Be alone. It doesn't have to, why do you have to, like, why, and I'm not talking about my own life. I'm talking about in general, period. Why do people have to, like, replace somebody with somebody else? Like, think about that. Why do they have to replace you out there with somebody else? Even if they didn't cheat, even if they don't, why can't, like, people, men and women, figure it out on their own what their own issue is? Because it literally is their own issue. And that's what I've learned over the last several months with my Valerie Love, my mentor. Like, it's not that person that's been hurt. It's the person that did it. That person needs to look in the mirror and figure their shit out. Right? So why can't that man or woman figure it out on their, like, why can't they just meditate, get deep within themselves and figure it out? Why do they have to replace that woman or man with somebody else to only repeat the same thing over again or live in denial? Right? Live in denial. Hey, Dean, how you doing? So catch someone with their pants down, Joe. I know, you're funny. Right, you catch them. But, like, at the end of the day, you catch them. But, like, if the love's not there, if the feelings aren't there, like, what the hell? Like, why hide it? Why lie? Why cheat? Why sneak? Why come back and say, oh, no, I'm so sorry, I love you. Like, then why do people do that then? Because if you truly don't love somebody and you're with them, and it's for whatever reasons people stay together, right? If the dynamics of the children and they have contracts and contractual obligations or whatever, that's fine. If it's in writing and they have this contractual thing, like presidents and stuff do it all the time, right? But I'm talking about, like, raw, like, real down-to-earth home people that, like, have relationships, and for whatever reason people stray and they hide it and they do all these different things, and the people that are around them see it. And I agree with all of you ladies out there that have said we know. For the most part, we do. We can live in denial, men and women. So this is like saying, this is not a female thing I'm doing here or a male thing. I'm saying both sexes. It's something that and I know, in your heart, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the people that are around you. That's what I'm talking about tonight. The people around you. What do the people around you do? What do you people around them do? My friend Shark, you don't tell them, it's none of their business. They stay out of it. Nobody would want her to tell her business. That's one opinion. I made a pact. We made a pact with my neighbors that if we found out, we would go to them first and say, hey, you better tell. You better get your shit together, like, whatever. Leave, stay, but you better get it together or I'm going to tell. That was a pact we made. Now, I didn't deal with anybody else, right? People use the excuse that happens all the time, whatever. Okay, that's fine too. But, like, still, people's hearts get broken all the time. And it hurts really, really bad to know that, like, well, someone just doesn't love you anymore. But at the end of the day, it's hard to swallow, but to be truthful, it's the best way to be. It's the best way to be. You're being honest. It hurts. The truth hurts. But at the end of the day, when you really let it sink in, everything, like, people aren't going to always like you. You're going to have people that aren't going to like you. You're not going to like people. You're going to love somebody, and someday that you're just going to, like, you're just not going to love them anymore. And it hurts really bad. But the truth is, that's a fact. That's a reality of life. It's a reality of life. And I don't know how I feel about all this, but I wanted to put it out there to you and, like, have you share with me because it stirred up something in me today. And I love that you've been so interactive and sharing with me. But, like, right, Joe, some women don't care. Some women don't care. It's a contractual agreement. Like, that's what they say. It's like it's an arranged marriage where they don't care sexually. It's like, you do whatever the frick you want. Like, as long as we're together in public, we're going to look like this, right? We're going to be this together. We're going to do this. That's fine. If that's a contractual arrangement, if that's a verbal agreement, swingers, people that are in the open lifestyle, God bless. Like, hey, they're happy with that. They agree upon that. I'm not knocking anybody. Like, I've been asked to be, like, oh, no, that's really not my thing. Cause, like, I would be crazy if I watched my husband make love to somebody else, whatever. But for other people, it's fine. I totally accept that. That's cool. But that's an arrangement that's made between them, right? It's an open arrangement. But when it's a closed thing and you supposedly take these vows and you take this stuff seriously, and then something happens. I just wanted to know what you do. That's all I wanted to share. If you want to talk more about this, please reach out to me. You can message me at Cindy or email me at Cindy@getinspiredwithcindy.com. I'm just trying to uplift the world. But we got to get through some shit to get there, right? We got to get through some shit to get there. We got to talk about some real stuff to get there. And all I want to do is help bring you along where I'm on my journey to self-improve and to make a better life for myself. And so you can always reach me at, hey, my dog, come say hi. Come here, Mo. Come here. Come say hi. There's my dog. Say hi. Say hi, Mo. Hi. You see him? No, Mo. He's so done with me. He's so done with me. But anyhow, you can reach me at Cindy@getinspiredwithcindy.com. CinAmes461@gmail.com. I'm on Facebook. Obviously, I have a Facebook page. It's Get Inspired with Cindy. You guys can follow me on my new Facebook business page. I'd love that. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for sharing. And what else? Oh, 484-222-3030. You can reach me by cell phone. You can call me that way. I would love to share. Hey, Nicole, how you doing? Oh my God, by the young. So anyways, but it's seriously, and discuss this amongst yourselves. Like what you guys think about this. It just stir up the conversation. I don't want anybody getting in fights or anything like that, but just makes you think. It makes you think about your own values, like what you value. There's no right or wrong. There's no right or wrong to it. But sometimes, as bad as it hurts, honesty is like kind of the best policy. That's just how I feel sometimes. If it's not an arranged marriage, it's not arranged whatever, sometimes I think honesty is the best policy, because I know in my own life that was the best thing that could have happened to me, was the honesty. It just took a while for me to accept it. So I'm just sharing that with y'all. I love you guys. Facebook, have a good night, Saturday night, and I'll be back hopefully tomorrow. I'm going to Sedona. We have to figure out how I'm going to go to Sedona. I need your help. I want to go to sit on the rocks in Sedona and meditate and make myself a better person. All right. I love you guys. Good night.